Hey y'all, here's some badass news from your friends here at ADHD Podcast. Have you ever wanted to up your coat or style game? Have you ever wanted to feel as cool as some of your favorite fictional characters? Look no further and check out Volante Design, an American-based company from Massachusetts. They create some amazing jackets, vests, shirts, and other fun accessories. They have some amazing original pieces that might be inspired by some of your favorite fandoms, and some fun licensed products from Mass Effect, Star Trek, and Devil May Cry. Check them out at their website, volantedesign.us, or on any of their social media pages at Volante Design. Now, I know they can be a bit pricey, but they are 100% worth it. And with your friends here at ADHD Podcast, you can get 10% off with our affiliate code. Our code is ADHDPOD. Link in the show notes below. Check them out and get some badass pieces for your wardrobe. See y'all soon. Good evening. Oh God, I'm peeking already. Good evening, ADHD Podcast. How y'all doing tonight? It's your boy Steve over here, and if you saw the title card, we have an extra special guest on the episode tonight. I am not joined by Rob, sadly, because he is a butthead, and I absolutely love him, but life got in the way, and I have a special co-host tonight.
Hello, ADHD listeners. My name is Theresa. I am part of the R&D department, aka Steve's wife.
You could have just started off by saying, "Hi, my name's Theresa. I married this dumbass, and sometimes I help him out on the podcast," but no, he can usually just fend for himself.
It depends on, if I'm here or not while you record, but you do a good job recording and fending for yourself anyway.
Yeah, that's... Sure, we'll go with we do a good job of that. But hey, everybody. So, if you saw the title card, which I know that y'all did, we're going to be talking about our reaction to Tribeca. Sadly, Rob was not able to go in with me this year, but we're going to try to remedy that next year and get you some more content and everything. But Theresa and I had an absolutely wonderful time at the festival. We went and did go in to see all 14 shorts over the two different things. But before we get into Tribeca, Theresa, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit, talk about kind of your history with animation and kind of what you can bring to the podcast a little bit. This is just slight trying to get ready for interviews in the future. Hopefully that'll be happening soon.
Yeah, more interviews would be fun. But anyway, hi everyone, again, Theresa. Kind of like Steve, very much more of a animation fan. Grew up with watching a lot of Saturday morning cartoons. Definitely had, a lot of animation as part of childhood. Through that also started to get into anime, in addition to just more Western cartoons. Really fell in love with all the different things you can do with animation, all the different stories you can tell. And more of just appreciation rather than die-hard, studious, student of animation, unlike Rob.
So this episode's definitely going to be more of just talking about how we feel instead of going into the in-depth of, they used this type of thing for this thing, they used this type of thing for this thing, and what the shadow is coming from over here, it seems like it looked pretty.
Yeah, or it looked like this random reference point that we have, instead of, again, getting into all the techniques. But I guess the slight art relation that I have is I did go to college for landscape architecture, and with that we had some landscape drawing classes. So haven't done necessarily animation, but definitely have gotten into some different like still art as part of both just hobby stuff and then also again college.
Yeah, you and Rob are good with that for doing some of the still things. I just did photography. I didn't have I did like traditional photography, which was a ton of fun, but ooh, yeah, no, I didn't actually have to do too much crafting until the picture was taken. But anyways, let's get into talking about some animated shorts. And we're going to start off with the first chunk that we saw, which was the first 7. It was Whoopi's Wonderful World of Animation. This one absolutely loved. It was definitely more of like the family friendly, as we saw with having like a 2-year-old there.
Yes,
which was absolutely great. Adorable. And a lot of the stuff was really cool. Just to let everybody know, if you haven't listened to the first episode, go back and listen to Rob and I talk about just kind of looking at stills and images of the shorts that happened, and now we're just going to go into like talking about the stories a little bit, what we actually saw, and a couple of other fun things. The first one is Linie 12, which was the train one. It was in German. This one I really, really enjoyed. It definitely popped into, well, I would say top 5, but there were only 7 shorts. But
well, for me, this was like my top one of the first set. So.
Oh no, not for me. There's another one that we're going to be talking about in a little bit that we had a fun interaction with.
Yes, that is very close behind for my number 2.
Yeah.
But
no, this was definitely, it was a lot of fun. Linie 12, which was about I think it was it was Peregrine and Clara, kind of like 2 at like opposite ends of the spectrum that became friendly and then became friends by the end of the short. Of a Peregrine is a train conductor and is running on a very tight ship because he's German. What do you expect? Coming from the background that I know with my family being German, and one of my it was one of my great uncles actually worked on the German trains, which was really cool. So I understand how efficient they run.
And for me, being in Germany for 7 weeks over the course of 2 different summers, getting used to that train schedule and knowing like, oh, if the train says it's coming at 5:04, it's gonna get there at like 5:04.
Yeah. So Peregrine runs a tight ship. Clara, who's a musician friend of his, got this funky like 3-belled saxophone that was really cool looking. And then just seeing how chaos ensues while Clara tries to help out Peregrine, mucks stuff up, and then Peregrine is just like, I have to fix my train, I have to stop it so it doesn't go boom. And then
he gets Clara to try and help while he tries to basically climb outside of the train to pull like the emergency shut-off valve, because of course there's emergency shut-off valve and not a convenient spot.
Well, yeah, because they broke the other like shut-off valve. Why would it be on the inside? We just watched an episode of One Piece where they don't have brakes on their sea train, and they had to legitimately cut another train in half just to go by it. Of course, it's good. You can never make it easy. But through the story, it definitely, Peregrine learns how to sit back a little bit, because when he pulls the emergency valve, the entire train shuts down, and it's like, oh no, we're running behind schedule. Ooh, scary. And Peregrine freaks out, but then gets to see the beautiful landscape that's around him. That scene was just absolutely gorgeous. As they're kind of going through, and you see the train stop on this, like, I guess, trestled bridge. You'd say trestled?
I mean, the whole a lot of the like just casual world building in this short was really cool to see. Like really early on, the train kind of goes from running on your typical train tracks to actually having its basically wheels being suspended, and then it's
Oh yeah, I thought that was so cool.
Is flying through the air in order to go up this mountain to get to the station where Clara eventually hops on. So all of that like little fun details was just like a lot of extra stuff that was in the short, and one of the reasons why it bumped it up to that #1 spot for me. And one of the other things is just talking about like a little bit of the art styles. A lot of that reminded me of like colored pencils, so it felt very hand drawn.
I think it was hand drawn. I think I think they put that like in the credits. I know in the first episode I had said, and Rob didn't know the reference. I know you will. It still reminded me of Professor Layton, like kind of like that very simplistic art style, but there was a lot of depth to it. It was just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and definitely that scene where the train is fully stopped and everyone can kind of look out and see, like, you're on this elevated trestle bridge, but seeing all of this, like, essentially stars and planets and galaxies, and it's a really cool, like,
it was so
gorgeous
freaking
scene.
Cosmic. It was awesome.
That again was, like, art for that was on point and really, like, solidified that as top pick for me. And then I also think one of the other things that helped with bumping that up to the top spot for me is just all the integrated music that was in it. So like how Clara had the 3-tiered saxophone, just the entire short had some sort of music component through it. So like as the train's kind of getting, a bit crazy and overheating, all of the music for that is getting a lot more crazy and intense. So it was just having that integrated in was a fun thing.
Oh yeah, no, like the entire thing was definitely like all of these were just top notch. Like last year's shorts were absolutely wonderful. This year's shorts, every single one was absolutely wonderful. It really was hard to like figure out which was like my favorite and which I don't want to even say was my least favorite because they were all just freaking awesome. But just how the music played in with everything, how it didn't, like, even though it was hand-drawn, it didn't feel, like, herky-jerky. It was very smooth. Like the jazz that Clara was playing. See what I did there. But yeah, no, it was definitely a lot of fun. I know that I really enjoyed it, and I wish that, like, I kind of saw this the day before, like we had gone in the day before instead of on Sunday, because we might have been able to meet like more folks, more people from the different the different shorts. But it was really cool. Like it was absolutely gorgeous. Any final thoughts?
No, I think I covered most things I want to talk about.
Oh yeah, you and your stupid notes as you were like sitting there at like jotting things down on the train ride home while I'm just gonna wing it because I is stupid.
I mean, literally my notes are just like for Linie 12, it's like integrated music, lovely visuals, galaxy shot, colored pencil art.
Yeah.
Like I did not have the energy or effort that I wanted to do full sentences afterwards. I just wanted to make sure I had things to like jog my memory when we did this.
I mean, we did have like the entire day in the city. It was a fun day, don't get me wrong. And we did a lot of fun like stuff in between the two shorts. But let's move on to the next one, which is Awaiting the Lightning Bolt. This one definitely like was a lot of fun, but it was a little, I don't want to say too short, but it seemed to go very quickly.
It went very quick.
But I could understand why, because it looked like it was all kind of like it was the like stop motion.
It
was the stop motion.
Style.
And like everything was so all of the characters and everything kind of looked like the little
felt.
Yeah, it was like the felt I don't even want to say plushies. Just like dolls and whatnot. Yeah. And so the story behind this is a dude's trying to legitimately catch a lightning bolt in several different ways, and finally does catch one to bring home. I'm guessing it's his daughter. Is sick and in bed and is like dying. You have this like random ass priest there just doing the in nomine Patri et Filii, in nomine Patri et Filii, in nomine Patri et Filii, and I was like, that's stupid. And then the mom's just like wailing and counting the rosary and is like, you're not doing anything while the dad's out there trying to help with stuff. And
in a lot of ways, it does remind me of some of the Wallace and Gromit like humor, where it's very exaggerated.
Oh yeah, especially hearing like
slapstick.
Yeah, especially hearing like the mother's there. It was like it was definitely over the top. But sadly, the daughter dies, and the priest is like, I can't do anything else, so stops praying. The mom's like crying. There was some water that got in there, and the dad drops the lightning bolt that he caught in a jar and
into the puddle of water where the daughter's hand just also happens to be
I know
fell into.
Plot armor. And there's this big bright white light, and either everybody's dead or the daughter comes back to life. But it seems like the daughter comes back to life, and like the mom praises the priest for all of his godly help. I said that in air quotes for all of our listeners out there because we don't have video for this ish. And I work for a church, and the daughter knows that it was the dad that was just like, I got you. I'm going to do all I can to save you.
They share like a cute moment at the end. Like, yeah.
This one, out of this entire like section, I think this was kind of like my least favorite one. I thought like it was a cute story. I definitely understand why it was so short, because like if you are doing the stop motion, that is just so hard to do.
Time.
Yeah. I mean, I was a kid and I tried to do stop motion with like some of my Lego stuff, and I was like, I don't have the patience for this ish. But it overall, it was really beautiful. Just to see the I'm just gonna call them dolls. The dolls that they were working with. It was fun to see how they like made the lightning in the bottle. It just looked all like nice and floofy, and like it was something I kind of like wanted to cuddle up with.
No, I agree.
Do you have any notes from your notebook?
No, we got through all my notes in my notebook.
Oh wow, this was just like the short. This was like
it was short.
It was short. Rob could probably talk more about like how intense it would be to do the like stop motion and all of that things, but I'm just like, Rob
is not here. I am here.
I understand that. I was gonna say you don't have glasses and you have like very higher voice than he does. But it was definitely a fun short. I enjoyed it. It was cool to just kind of like see everything, and we're going to get into the next one, which was my favorite, and I was super excited about this one originally too. And
it was my number 2.
It definitely lived up to the hype in my brain. This is the one called Lily. It was the one that was written by Stephen King. I'm trying to remember. It had just like this stacked, just everything about it.
I have it pulled up right now. So director was Kate Siegel.
Yep.
Producer Mally Elfman.
Mm-hmm.
Screenwriter Stephen King. Composer the Newton Brothers. Let's see. And then the editor and animator and designer is Pete Scalzitti.
Yep. And like it was just like hearing the Elfman name, hearing Stephen King, hearing Kate Siegel, like all of that coming together was just absolutely just powerhouse right there within just like the horror world and like the animation world. A lot of it was just like absolutely wonderful, and the story for that was a grade school kid gets embarrassed by his teacher and goes to use the bathroom because he has to urinate, and the teacher just makes him say he has to urinate or has to pee or something like that. goes to the bathroom and finds a tiger wearing a collar that says Lily. And the kid goes outside, pees against a tree, and gets in trouble for it.
Yeah, because the kids in the classroom see him, and of course it's his quote-unquote kind of implied crush that is the first one to see him.
That's his crush.
Yeah.
And so he gets in trouble. He said that there was a tiger in the bathroom, and the teacher doesn't believe him, and then teacher goes in, and teacher no come out.
Not come out.
And it's just, the animation style is just absolutely beautiful. It's very like Tim Burton-esque. It's black and white. It has a lot like
with some red.
It's got some red in there. It's black and white and red all over, just like a newspaper. But it was just it was absolutely beautiful. The storytelling from Stephen King was top notch because I forget what it was a part of, but it's like basically a part of like the Stephen King universe that's like meant for kids.
Yeah, the Dark Corners film series.
Yes,
which is just animated horror shorts for children.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely wonderful because I look at my brother and my niece that like my brother absolutely loves horror things and my niece is really getting into it. I'm happy that they have something like this. Everything about it was just absolutely great. And one of the coolest parts about seeing this is the artist, Pete, was there. And with his 2-year-old. That's why I say it was very family friendly. But with him being there, we got a chance to talk to him afterwards, and like I praised him on Lily and said how beautiful everything was. And if you check out our Instagram, you'll see the interview that I have there. It's like almost a 5-minute interview.
But hey guys, welcome ADHD fam. We are here at Tribeca, and I'm here just doing a quick little video with the animator of Lily. And for those who listened to the first episode, Lily was the one that is the Stephen King story that both Rob and I were hyped about. That I just want to say welcome onto the podcast and our social media. Tell us a little bit about Lily, how you got into it, and just the animation process behind it, because that'd be awesome to hear.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for talking to me and having me on the podcast. I'm so excited. So let's see. I animated Lily last summer, and I was in the middle of actually animating a different project. One of my dear friends, Molly Elfman, the producer of Lily, also her and I co-directed a different film called The Scariest Skeleton. So I took off.
Gotta look that up now.
Yeah, it's in the Brooklyn Film Festival. Actually screened the same day as our premiere here, which was crazy. But so I was working on that. Got 2 months off work, and I work at the Metropolitan Opera as a video editor and videographer. Oh, my son! I'll be right there, buddy. Anyways, in the middle of that, Molly was like, "We have another project. We got a script from Stephen King. Want to do that too?" And I was like, yes. And I just, you just got to say yes when, this is my second narrative animation ever. So to be able to work with a collaborator like that, and Kate Siegel, who I'm a huge fan of, I've been looking up to forever. I love everything she's done. I just saw Life of Chuck, which just came out. But Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, this team is just incredible.
Stacked. It was a stacked team.
So I had to say yes, and then I had to beg my day job for the time off, which they were so incredibly kind, so incredibly supportive, and they all sort of agreed. They were, you have to do this project. So I animated this in 21 days, which was I won't sugarcoat it. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. My wife took over pretty much all. We have a 1-year-old son, Nemo. And so she had to do so much backbreaking parenting solo while I had a 32-hour day at one point animating this. So I was just going crazy. But I was just so lucky. I had an animator come in and help, Sutian Wong. She was incredible. She was she works on video games, former Pixar animator. So she hopped in and she took, I was able to storyboard this down to 65 shots. So I knew we didn't have time to do anything really crazy, really fancy. So she took, I think, 6 or 7 shots of character animation for Robert. You'll see him walking down the hall, little boy in our film. Beautifully animated by her. I was so lucky to have her involved. And Kate, oh my gosh, her direction was so perfect and crucial. Everything we discussed before I started was her influences, the style choices that we wanted to aim towards, and she's just so fantastic and so easy to talk to. She told me everything I needed to hear each time we spoke. But it was a gauntlet. It was just a draw-a-thon, I guess, to get all those shots done. But we did it, and I'm so happy that it's here at the Tribeca Film Festival. I never dreamed of any of this. It all just happened pretty quickly.
It was all beautiful, and that's an amazing story to hear. And I've got a little thing for you. We have little special pins.
Yes.
That 2 for you, 1 for you, 1 for your son. Thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us. And look us up on social media, and I can't wait to see more work that you get to do. Awesome.
I really appreciate that. Thanks for
Thank you so much, ADHD. And we got the other shorts coming up later on. Bye, guys.
Thanks, ADHD.
He was a sweetheart and a half, and
he got into a lot of details about like the whole process for how it came about, him working on it.
I think he said it took him 22 days,
like 21 or 22 days to do like all the animation for this, which is insane.
Like that is, I think it was in the interview he said that there was a 30-hour session of him just animating and working, and it was just like, and he's a person that has a day job, like he doesn't just do animation, and it was absolutely like beautiful. It was a great time to talk to him, and what was funny is at the time his 2-year-old, but it was his 1-year-old, didn't call the movie Lily, and still doesn't. He calls the movie Burp, because at the very end the tiger burps from eating the teacher, and it's really cute because when we saw the poster and we were talking with him, and like his son was there, and was like, "Oh, kid, you see daddy's poster?" And the kid was like, "Burp."
Point it right at it. Too.
Yep, it was absolutely adorable. But even he said that he took like some inspiration from like the Tim Burton like sketches and whatnot, and just made it his. And you can definitely see that inspiration there. I'm still surprised that this only took 22 days.
Yeah, and I think I was telling you, Steve, a little bit afterwards that some of the drawings did remind me of like the charcoal drawings that I had to do occasionally for the landscape drawing class that I was in college, of just trying to get on paper, like it doesn't need to be perfect, but you want that expressiveness there. You kind of want to get like what the textures are and what the feeling is, not so much the perfect line work. And so like seeing that and calling back to, some of my like quick drawing experience, I was like, even with all of that, doing this in, like 21 days is still like ridiculous of how quick that is.
Oh yeah. So the next one that we're going to get into was Captain Zero Into the Abyss Part 2. This is the one that when Rob and I looked at it, I said it reminded me of Invincible, and it reminded me of Invincible. It was a phenomenal short. I think this one might have been in my top 3. It probably was like number 3. But the art in it was really cool, with it having that comic booky feel.
Yeah,
but it was still like a nice smooth motion for everything.
Yeah, and I mean the comic book feel was also helped by it being about like superheroes, so there was definitely that easier to associate that right off the bat with like Invincible and other animated superhero cartoons.
Well, do you want to tell the story of what Captain Zero was?
I mean, I can. We didn't really get into too well.
We've told the story for the past 3 shorts that we're watching.
Yes. But it essentially starts off where you have this one superhero who you figure out he's in a therapy session talking through some stuff, and then you get flashbacks to different events over the course of interspersed with this therapy session. So he's trying to, it's him and his partner get to this one building where they don't call them superheroes, they call them what, hypers?
Yeah.
There's a hyper there, the regular, police are trying to deal with it. They're having some issues, so the two hypers step in. They unfortunately try and deal with this person and are not being very successful. So that's kind of starting the main character, Xerxes, kind of his negative internal talk in his mind of, trying to be like, am I good enough for this? Being all anxious and stressed out about that, and that kind of ties into the abyss part of getting into this negative talk, this voice that's kind of personified throughout the entire short, of having that little voice that's telling you, maybe you're not good enough, maybe you can't do it.
And that voice was Keith David, which I thought was absolutely bonkers. It was beautiful to hear that just deep bass voice in the background just talking shit to the high schooler, that I'm just like, damn, I feel like I went through that when I was in high school.
Yeah, this is one that, like, I definitely felt like I wanted more of that story and more of that world, to know, like, okay, kind of what it's titled, Into the Abyss Part 2. I don't know if there ever was a Part 1 that was made. I
think there was. I just don't know where it is online, or, like, what this is connected to. But I would love to see more with Captain Zero. I think this would be a really cool, like, even if you just do, like, how you had this short, just little shorts here and there, and kind of like the old, like, Star Wars Clone Wars by Genndy Tartakovsky.
Yeah, where it was just the little...
Yeah, you had, like, small stories. It's like, you don't need a 20-minute episode. You need, like, 5 to 10 minutes to tell a piece of the story. That, like, this was really, really cool to check out. The artwork in it was absolutely beautiful. The storytelling, you could definitely feel the anxiety. You could feel, like, the little voice talking in the back of your brain, because I definitely hear that voice in my own brain. So it's like something that you could definitely tie into, and it was absolutely wonderful. I like this one a lot, and I want to see more from this Captain Zero.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that I did think that was fun for kind of folks that are Steve and mine's age and a little bit older, the beginning of this and the end of this was also framed that it was like playing on an old VHS, which I thought was wonderful.
Oh yeah. I mean, I still have some VHS tapes, like, around the house somewhere that I just don't have the heart to get rid of, because it's like the original Jurassic Park in letterbox. And if anybody knows what letterbox is, please comment on this episode or find us on social media and let me know, because I will become friends with you in real life. Because Letterboxd was the only way to watch movies in my house, because my dad is freaking crazy on stuff like that, and I love you, Dad. Happy belated Father's Day, whenever we're recording this. Not to date ourselves. But, it was cool to, like, kind of see everything tie into it. And just like I said, like I keep saying, I want to see more in this Captain Zero universe. I want to see more out of it. Let's frickin' go. And I hope that we do get to see more from this somewhere, even if it's just on YouTube, or, like, I would love to see, as much as Rob and I don't like HBO Max, however you want to call it, Max HBO,
its name is
Warner Brothers, mucking stuff up. I would love to see it somewhere like that. Hell, give it to Amazon, because they've got Has-Been Hotel, Invincible, and now Hell of a Boss. But yeah. So the next one that we got to see, and this one was definitely lower on my list, but it was still a lot of fun, was Ostrich. And that one was about this cute little sparrow bird who sees ostriches as, like, the be-all to end-all type of birds. And it was definitely a story of trying to figure out kind of body positivity and like how social media just kind of skews everything to being just
or social media
unrealistic.
doesn't portray the real life story.
Yeah. And so this little sparrow tries to become an ostrich and ends up looking like an ostrich and goes to see an ostrich like perform in this like world and didn't realize how big they are.
Yeah, because like this poor sparrow is doing stuff like getting working out to do all of this stuff for their legs, going to, I don't know what the like human equivalent would be, but essentially a place that they can get their neck stretched so then they can have that.
Oh, they have stuff like that,
neck.
like in like I guess in human things.
Yeah, I'm just
like that exists.
Like, what that name of that facility?
It would be for like cosmetic surgery.
Yeah. So yeah, the sparrow is doing all of this to try and change themselves to look like this ostrich. Finally, as Steve said, goes to see the ostrich and almost gets stepped on and squashed.
Oh, this little sparrow got yeeted by yeeted. Did it get yeet? Once again, everybody in the comments below, let us know: is it yeeted or yeet?
The ostrich did a spinny neck thing and
the little sparrow got yeet. Yeah, and then the little sparrow realized that, oh, I can fly, and ostriches can't. So it's definitely like getting comfortable in your own skin, and the art style behind it, as Rob said in the last episode, it reminded him, and it definitely reminds me of Tuca and Birdie, like that show, like with the vibrant colors and everything just kind of like slightly like popping. Watching the sparrow go from sparrow to ostrich was definitely sad to kind of like see. And I wish that like the sparrow didn't have to go through that. But it was definitely very interesting, and it was a good commentary on like how social media portrays a lot of stuff nowadays.
Yeah.
Because like even just coming from a photo background, I know how to doctor photos to make everything look better. I know the tips and tricks that like McDonald's and Burger King uses to make you want to eat their Whoppers, or how IHOP doesn't use syrup; it uses motor oil to get that like nice syrupy look.
Yeah, but just assume most of the time if you're seeing pictures of food in an ad, it is not real edible food.
Yeah, no, it's cardboard, barely cooked, and or not food at all. But Ostrich was definitely, it was fun, it was cute. This would definitely be something that like I would show the kids that I work with, to be like, hey, don't always believe what you see on social media and be comfortable in your own skin. But the next one that we went to see, or that was in all program. Of this in the program, excuse me again, was Tigre. This one was really cool because it was a Mexican animated short about, I guess it was like,
It's a friend's grandfather who was a refugee from Laos living in Thailand.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
I was right with Thai.
Yeah. No. I knew that it was Thai. I just said, I thought I had said one thing, but you had heard another thing, but it's fine. Your ears don't always work.
Your ears don't always work.
I understand that. I'm frickin' deaf. But
anyway.
The story of this is just, you really don't realize that it's a grandfather telling a grandson like a story. All of it is just kind of like pantomimed, but it seems like it's all about just like Hindu mythology and different things that are popping up. That it was really cool to see. Like the art, it was like very much of like that shadowy type of foreground with beautiful, like, light-colored backgrounds. It seemed like a lot of the stuff was just, like, cut out of paper. It definitely does remind me of, and I know that you'll get this, the Deathly Hallows story.
Yeah, like that kind of similar, like more very much shapes, not a ton of big shading within that,
Yeah.
but, you know, you have everything kind of layered on top of each other.
Yeah, and like that, it was just absolutely gorgeous, and it was cool to see like some of the mythology from like the Hindu culture with like some of the demons that were like popping up, or like things being in the background that may have been noise, but like when you hear something and you don't know your area all too well, your brain kind of plays tricks on you, and you hear like los spookies. And if you ever hear that, no, you didn't. Just run away. Just don't worry about it. Don't investigate
Don't
it.
turn around,
Don't
just walk.
don't investigate it. Don't be like the movies. Don't investigate it, because that's how people die. I've played my fair share of horror video games. I've seen my fair share of horror movies. I have learned, if you hear something, no, you didn't. Walk away. Walk away. And listen to maybe some abuelas and get some chanclas or something, and just be like, not dealing with this.
Or, don't go hide behind the chainsaws in the garage.
Also get some Vicks, like, chest rub, because, that'll definitely scare the los spookies away. But this one it really was cool. It was nice how much of a story that you could get from no dialogue at all. And that kind of was like a lot of the shorts in this one. Like, there was very minimal dialogue, but you still got a full story that you could understand. That it really was just, it was cool. It was beautiful to see. This was definitely within my top 3. Like, it was this one, Captain Zero, and my number 1 was Lily. Nothing's going to beat that. Even in the second set, nothing beats Lily. Lily was absolutely wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would say this is one that I kind of would want to see again, maybe after looking up like some more cultural context, just to see if I can get like certain additional layers or understanding. Because again, there's a lot of stuff that was kind of, there's no dialogue, so a lot of stuff is told through like body language, how the different characters are interacting with each other, just having that additional kind of cultural context. I feel like I would pick up more things the second time watching than I did the first. Yeah,
definitely. And I, like I keep saying, it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Absolutely beautiful. So the last one within Whoopi's Wonderful World of Animation was one called Snow Bear, that was animated by, why can't I remember? Aaron Blaise, who is, I didn't realize this, a former Disney animator that had worked on things like, Aladdin, The Lion King, and a couple other things like that, from what people had been saying throughout the entire day whenever they would get to talk about their animated shorts, as they were like, I can't believe that I got to be in here with Aaron Blaise. They remember like seeing his name and be like, I want to be like him one day. And then they became like him, doing some really cool things. But Snow Bear was definitely...
It was very cute.
It was adorable. It's, as you can guess, about a polar bear. But the polar bear is trying to find friendship and like find some other animals, but they're just like, y'all too big, nobby. And like,
or it's the whales who are just like, we're bigger than you. Nah.
Well, that was just because the parent orcas didn't want.
Mom was just like, no.
Yeah, they didn't want to chill with the polar bear, and if it was in the wild, that polar bear would have been dead. You understand that orcas eat polar bears, great white sharks, and moose.
Yes. Also, I was kind of surprised that they did show the polar bear eating seal at some point during this short.
That was really cute. Like, it showed, like, the circle of life.
Yes.
But the polar bear tries to find friendship, doesn't find friendship, but then finds this snowdrift that looks like a bear, And then it's just like, well, you're my friend now.
Let me make you even more bear shape.
And, like, makes snow, like, an actual snow bear and hangs out with them for, like, the however long they does, like, several days, because, you know, it's taking place in, I'm guessing,
somewhere
like,
in the Arctic. So if you know,
it's either the Arctic or the Antarctic.
No, polar bears no south. Polar bears only north.
Okay, so it's in the Arctic. You can definitely tell how much I watch Discovery Channel. I watch Discovery Channel once a year, and that's for Shark Week, which is coming up very soon. Woo! Shark Week! Shark Week. Ooh ha ha.
I was going to make that reference.
I beat you to it. But then, so...
They do all of these adventures together. They, like, you know, go hunting. They ride down mountains and snow drifts.
Mm-hmm.
They have
the snow bear gets its head knocked off a couple times, which is really kind of funny, especially when the polar bear's like, wee, ducks down, looks back up. Half of the snow bear's head is gone. It's like, whoo. But then the snow bear eventually melts, and the polar bear gets really sad because he can't build him back up. And
while they're melting, they're also on a random iceberg that's like floating away in the water too.
Oh yeah, like it is like bleak as all hell. But at the end, the polar bear finds friendship with another polar bear
who
that
also made a snow bear.
Yeah, I guess that's just the thing polar bears do.
It's news to me.
Yeah. But then they kind of, you know, become friends and then become more than friends. And throughout the credits, you see them create a polar bear family and see the other animals that, like, the polar bear tried to make friends with earlier on. And it's really cute throughout the credits. But this one is definitely... Ooh, excuse me again. The beer is getting to me. Or I'm sorry, the beverage is getting to me. But it's definitely really cute throughout the entire thing. Like Rob said, it reminded him of, like, the Coca-Cola bear. To me, it reminded me of Brother Bear, and now I understand why.
It was Brother Bear for me, too, and same thing now. I'm like, yep, this checks out.
Yeah, a former Disney animator drawing bears again, and they worked on more of the hand-drawn stuff. Yeah, it's gonna look like Brother Bear. But it was very cute. It was a lot of fun. Like, the scenery in it was just absolutely gorgeous to see some of that Arctic scenery with, like, the sunsets going down and just being able to see everything throughout it. I mean, hell, watching the polar bear go swimming and seeing how, like, the water affected the fur, that's hard to do.
Yeah, they did a great job with all of that. And, like, the colors and the textures, just, it really felt like, oh, this is the Arctic, this is cold. It's not, I don't know. But looking back, I feel like there's just some older animation that just doesn't capture that as well.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you on that. And it didn't crack my top 3, but it was definitely up there. Like, all of these were absolutely wonderful, seriously. And that was the end of the Whoopi's Wonderful World of Animation. It was only 67 minutes long. We saw this at, like, 11:30, 11:45 in the morning. And it really was cool to talk with, like, you know, Pete about Lily and everything. And he was really cute to get, because I gave him pins from the podcast, and he was just like, oh, I have pins? And
you also gave him a second one.
Well, yeah, I gave him one for his son, because every kid needs a sharp, pointy object in their life at some point. And these were definitely a lot of fun. They were very family friendly, and I was happy to see all of these. It was great to see them with you, and just to kind of, like, hear your thoughts behind everything. And then after that, we had a little bit of a break in the city that we got to check out a couple other, like, really cool and fun things, like where the theater that we saw these first shorts for was literally right around the corner from the Ghostbuster Firehouse, which is also right across the street from where my dad used to work in the city. Cool.
The Ghostbusters place was cool.
Yeah.
I do not have I didn't know you back when your dad worked in the city. So.
I didn't know my dad when he worked back in the city either. I only knew him when he used to work next door to our house.
Fair.
He stopped working in the city when my brother was born. But no, it being in the city was a lot of fun. It definitely, like, it's been a hot minute since we've been in the city. We got to check out the Nintendo store, which was I love always going there. It was cool to see some of the newer things and actually poke the Nintendo Switch too. I didn't realize how much I suck at the new Mario Kart, but when eventually we get one, I will get better.
Yes, I also think it does not help that we just felt like we were driving so slow, because I think it was capped at 50cc.
It was capped at 50cc, and I wasn't collecting as many coins. Remind me to show you a video later that coins actually, like, there is some crazy math out there for some of that stuff that it's just like, depending on how many coins that you get, depending on your cart and what there's a lot of math behind it. That it's absolutely crazy. And then we got to check out because it was a little bit closer to the second theater, we checked out the Harry Potter store, which was really cool. That was a lot of fun to, like, go and poke, being a, like, I wouldn't call myself a casual Harry Potter fan. I'm like in between diehard and casual. I'm like an intermediate fan.
I would say for both of us, it was a very big story and, like, part of our childhood. So it's more than just, like...
Yeah, but you read the books. I just watched the movies. I didn't read the books until we were dating.
Okay, fair. But you at least got into the movies, though.
Oh, hell yeah. I love those movies. I go back while I'm at work some days when I just need something for background noise, and I pick a number between 1 through 8 and put that Harry Potter on because I know exactly what's going on. And then after we had a little bit of time in the city, we went and checked out the second animated. It was the animated shorts curated by Whoopi G. This also had 7 shorts in it. And these
were not family friendly.
Yeah, these definitely were not family friendly. In the description, it says that it's meant for, like, 14 and up. Some of them, I feel like they needed to be more for the and up.
Yeah, a few in particular, I'm like, probably 17 and up would have been a good marker.
Probably the first 4 were, like, at least 16 and up or older.
Yeah, I can see that. Which when we get
we'll get into it,
you can kind of see what we mean.
Yeah. So the first one, the Quinta's Ghost, was a really, really cool one. I think this was probably my second favorite out of this bunch.
Set? Yeah.
Because the art style was absolutely beautiful. It felt like a really, like, visceral oil painting throughout the entire thing. And it had, like, some of that, like, 3D animation that was very akin to, like, Paranorman or something like that. That, like, I know that is stop motion, but it had that feel to it. The story of that is about this artist who...
I did look it up. It is the Spanish painter Francisco Goya.
Oh, it is Goya.
It is Goya.
Okay, that's what I thought. So it's basically the story of Goya.
When he starts going crazy.
Yeah. And it's from the house's perspective, which is creepy.
It's a very interesting narrative device that I loved.
I thought it was absolutely wonderful. Loved it to, like, no end. But yeah, it's about... So you see, like, Goya's descent from being a normal painter to going absolute, like, bat crazy and painting every inch of the house with this, like, demonic kind of stuff, and, like, how a lot of these, like, demons were personified and, like, almost given physical form because of his kind of thoughts and everything. It was so beautiful. The contrast that you saw between everything, the shadows and the light, how everything was just played was gorgeous. Oh my God. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I'm just looking up that all of the this is about his black paintings, and all of those were executed in oil directly onto the plastered walls of the house. So, like, the short story was really very much, hey, this is what he did.
Yeah.
And a lot of those were very visceral and seemed like him getting haunted by some different horrors. I guess I will use...
Oh, no, you could just say demons. They were demons!
Yeah, a lot of, like, parts of that short were definitely very haunting in a great way.
Oh, yeah. No, I would love to see a full-length movie of something like this. Like, it was nice to see, like, the short, but I could definitely see this being expanded out to being something even more heart-wrenching. Or, hell, to different artists. Like, I would love to see something like this for Van Gogh when he starts to, lose his way.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be really cool to see, like, that in his art style. Yeah. And, like, just seeing him, like, lop off his ear maybe at some point. But, that's a story for another day. I would love... So, take this idea and expand it to other artists. But yeah, no, out of this set, this was definitely, like, my second favorite. It was absolutely wonderful. I had thought that it was, like... In my mind, I thought, like, it might have been Picasso, but then I remember Picasso didn't go crazy. He just went cubist.
So I don't know if I would argue that's its own type of... I don't want to say crazy, but its own type of difference. But I did not study a ton of art history, so I can't speak on this too much.
The only reason I know some of, like, the art history is because I was kind of forced to go to, like, the MoMA every year in college for my photo classes, and they always had, like, a photo section, but then my friends and I would also go check out, like, a bunch of the other stuff. I would make a pilgrimage to go see Starry Night and always remember how tiny it is, and go over and see The Persistence of Time by Dali and just see all of the melty clockness. But that was a lot of fun. The next short that we saw was Petra and the Sun. This one was an interesting one. Do you want to tell the story of it?
I can. It is it's more of the psychological creepy, but essentially Petra, the main character, lives by herself, like, in the mountains, and then one day happens across
in the Andes Mountains. Let's get this right. It takes place mountains. In, like, Chile.
Yes. Well, it is Petra y el Sol is the original title. So, but anyway, the main character Petra, one day as she is walking along with her dog coming back from, like, getting supplies or whatever, comes across a preserved corpse. What you find out is later a old mountaineer, and over the next bit of the short, starts to have dinner with the corpse, watch TV, and listen to radio. Well, I don't even think there was TV. I think it was just listen to radio. With the corpse. Just hang out with the corpse. Eventually put the corpse in bed. Dance with the corpse.
It ended with the dance.
It ended with the dance and then police sirens come in.
Yeah. And the dog ate the finger.
Yeah.
But this was definitely an interesting short. This one also is stop motion.
The details in this were incredible.
Oh, yeah. No, it looked like almost every single character was like carved out of wood. It was that
Mhm.
like hand detail work. It was just absolutely beautiful. I say that about all of these
Yeah.
freaking shorts, that they're just absolutely beautiful, because they are.
And like the set for the house was so like well detailed.
Oh, it was meticulous. I mean, even like seeing the yarn in the grass, like that was so cute.
That was such like one of my favorite details from this.
Oh yeah. But this did remind me a lot, and I know that I think you watched this movie with me. This did remind me a lot of like kind of Swiss Army Man.
I did not watch that movie with you.
Did I watch that movie by myself? God, I'm sad.
I think we talked about watching it together, and then you wound up watching it on your own because something like life happened. Because that was earlier on.
I swear to God, we watched this movie together. But like, it definitely was interesting to see the story of just this person being alone for so long, devolving and getting feelings for a corpse.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, because they show in a lot of like context clues of, oh, there's an old picture of her with like a husband, or you're assuming, you know, some sort of male significant other.
Yeah.
That you don't know what happened to that, like him. You don't know if he, you know, left, did he die? You don't know how long ago that happened. And then all throughout, like every night she's listening to the radio, that you can hear in that radio early on, they mention, like, after she finds the body, like, oh yeah, they found all of these other bodies except for one. They found like 5 backpacks, but only 4 bodies. So then you're like, oh, I guess this is the other body.
Yeah.
And not just a random, like, actual injured traveler. Because that was my first thought, that it was someone who was hurt.
Oh,
and
no.
I realized, like, oh, no, it's not.
No, and then you find out that this is from a century ago. So this body has been frozen in, like, ice for 100 years. Like, how... Sorry, I'm just gonna throw up a little bit.
Yeah, again, more of not so much like physically disturbing, but like psychologically.
Yeah, no, it's
disturbing.
It was just mentally just Rob, I know that you're recording this. It just mentally to you. And it was a lot of fun. This is definitely like one of the more fun ones, and off of these first 2 shorts, you can understand why it was supposed to be 14 and older, and why we are saying, hey, these first couple ones are for the and older part.
Yeah. To me, it was also interesting that, like, this, in some ways, the art style for this one was very... It was pretty bright and, like, more positive, but the tone of the story was...
Oh, so dark. It was so dark. I absolutely love it. I don't know if I want to see more from this story, but at the same time...
I want to see more of this art style. I don't necessarily want to see a continuation of this story.
You know, and we're not going into a little piece of heaven.
No.
But the next short that we saw was How a River is Born. And this one was very, very interesting.
I would say this is, again, another one where we're like, the end up is recommended.
Yes. There's a lot of in this one.
It's very suggestive of a lot of, like, things of a woman's body.
Yeah. So basically this one is a person just kind of wakes up in nature, and then nature becomes a big gigantic woman, and then this person starts to climb said nature and climbs up, and you get to see, and at some point the little person is playing with like the mountains and it was definitely weird. And then you get to see basically how, as it says, a river is born, which is out of down there.
After the main character is like on the like at the chest in the mountains, you see like, oh, we're gonna.
Dare I say she was at the peak?
She was at the peak. She looks a little bit down, and then you see like in between these two kind of mountains, which could be legs, there is a forest.
Oh, no, it's not. It could be legs. They were legs. They were legs.
So
this person was trying to split open them legs like an Oreo.
There is a forest patch, which she wanders into. And a lot of there is all of this water flowing out of a cave, and the cave definitely has a very...
It's a vagina.
Yes. I don't know what Rob's going to want to edit out for this.
Rob, have fun editing, talking about this one. As long as we say the like anatomically correct things, like vagina's not that bad. It's not like I'm just saying like or anything like that, or anything like that, like to really piss him off.
I'm sorry, Rob.
But it's definitely it's a good story to understand like kind of what I guess the lesbian experience is, or just understanding your body. Because, like, I know that this story, when we were originally looking up everything for the first episode, it was talking about being a part of, like, the LGBTQ IA community, and, like, you can definitely tell that this is a person trying to understand themselves and realizing who they are. Because once you get to see the main character go and play in the stream, which you can 100% interpret however you want to on that, which we know is having fun with their partner, it ends up with them just skinny dipping with their partner. And then sharing a very nice embrace and kiss, and it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. Did it make me cry? No. Did it almost make me cry? Yes. The art style itself was very much like a watercolor. It was absolutely beautiful, seriously.
A lot of exaggerated proportions, but again, it worked for this so well.
Yeah. It reminded me, and I should have done my research on this. It reminded me of that one Nickelodeon cartoon where it was the two people, where you have like the pencil and the pen. Rob and I talked about this in the first Tribeca episode. That neither of us can remember exactly what it was called, but it was like these two people like showing like with the watercolors and the pencils and like sketches and everything. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Don't worry about looking it up. But it reminded me of that. Like it definitely, you could definitely see like the watercolor behind it. You could, like, it was nice to see the exaggerated everything. And it was just kind of cool to see how this story played out, how it goes from somebody that looks like Tefiti from Moana become a regular person. And it was beautiful to see that two people just come together for loving each other. Because, you know, love is love. No matter who you love, just love them with your heart. Mm-hmm. Anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I know you said to ignore it, but now I'm on Wikipedia.
Oh my god.
I'll get off in a moment. I can't find it immediately, so I will get off. But yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about. So maybe this will be next episode we can finally be like, it was this.
Yeah, no, I'll talk to Rob about it and figure out what's going on. But the next short that we saw, this one was my favorite.
Yes, this was my favorite of this bunch.
This one was called Ovary-Acting, as in, like, you know, your ovaries and they're overacting. That the story behind this was, I think it was like a 30-something-year-old woman goes to her sister's baby shower and then gives birth to her Ovaries and uterus.
Yeah, essentially everyone is during the baby shower just being like, you know, what are you doing? Are you like thinking about kids? Are you freezing your eggs? Like your clock is ticking.
Oh, you mean like the stories that I get to hear from everybody at both of my jobs asking when am I going to have kids? And I just have to look at them and go, we'll see if God plans it.
Yeah. Fortunately for me, at my job, one of my coworkers is older than me and does not have any kids, so that has kind of stopped any of those questions, fortunately. But I definitely very much felt a lot of this short.
Yeah. And so the ovaries and like the uterus are just like, babies! We should have a baby. I want a baby. And the main character is just like,
well, here's some reasons why I haven't done that yet.
Bruh, calm down.
There's a random break into song.
Yes, and I love how they reference in the short of just being like, where is this music coming from? And like this, so I know you haven't watched this show. This reminds me a lot of the show Big Mouth.
Okay.
Only in, stop motion felt form. And it definitely is a story of just like, especially for somebody who is within our generation, that is just like, I don't know if I want to have kids. I don't know if I can have kids. And just navigating that process. And it was really cool to see that at the end it was like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. And it wasn't like the main character was like, oh, well, I'm going to have a baby now. It was more of just let me live my life and we will see what happens.
Yeah, and very much hey, this is a decision for, like us, meaning her and the uterus, to kind of talk about and think about, and not anyone else to decide for them. So, like, at the end, they go back to the baby shower, and the uterus yells at the grandmother. Oh, yeah, no, the uterus
the uterus was about to throw hands with grandma. I wanted to see that happen. But it was... So the art style for this, like we said, it was very like felty, stop motion. This one definitely reminded me more of like Corpse Bride or something like that. That it really was a cute story. It was a very well animated, and this one was my favorite. It seriously was. The random musical number in the middle was absolutely adorable. Everything about it was just top notch. Absolutely loved it. This one was definitely really, really fun to watch. And if you can find it online, I would highly suggest watching all of 14 of these shorts. If you can't find them all online, at least look up this one. Ovary-Acting, Yas, Queen.
And should we say the thing for the other thing that pops out, or that the...
Oh, the testes?
I wasn't sure if we wanted to spoil
no. At one point, like, the ovaries see this, like, single dad playing with a kid and gets all hot and bothered, about being like, oh, I want to have your babies. And the main character is just like, bruh, we're like dating somebody and it's not this person, and you see literally a pair of testicles with hair, which I thought was even funnier, just being like,
Yeah, hello, animated in the same style as the uterus, so it was just like, this is great.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's what my testes are like. They're just like, we're here, yay!
I don't have them and cannot speak to them, so.
Well, yeah, you have the floating uterus that's going to sing with you. I just have a pair of testicles that are just, like, eating glue, because it's just what they do.
I mean, if my uterus can make music happen out of random points in time for a musical number, that is a very interesting superpower.
That might become my new favorite superpower. Make uteruses dance. Ha ha! Go! Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, we probably should. Listeners can probably tell how much we enjoyed the Ovary-Acting.
I mean, we're also over an hour recording at the moment. For all of those, just to peek behind the screen a little bit, I'm sorry, I'm peeking a lot, Rob, while I'm doing all of this. We're recording late at night on a Wednesday where we've both worked like a long day.
We only have 3 left now, though.
No, I understand that. And then we have, like, our closing thoughts on everything. So we probably have, like, another 20 to 30 minutes.
I'm fine with that. Rob, sorry, you have to edit this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Raheem. So the next one is the animated short called Still Moving. And this one was very, very interesting to watch. And this one, I didn't post it onto our socials, but there may be a clip that hopefully pops up in the episode, Rob, if you want to plop it in or not.
While not talking about the things they should talk about. And then there's a storm.
I can definitely relate to having awkward conversations with my parents, and seeing something like that was just absolutely beautiful. The artwork that you had in there was breathtaking, seriously. And hearing you do the Q&A afterwards, saying how everything was just intentional, like every little minute detail was absolutely gorgeous. And I just want to say I can't wait to see more work that you do in the future, and I hope that you continue doing what you love, because that definitely was a labor of love, it seemed like.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next podcast where we'll be talking about all of Tribeca. Bye, guys.
We got to meet the director and artist for this.
Director, producer, screenwriter, editor, and key animator.
Yes.
She did all of this.
Yes. Where it's a story about a mom and a daughter in a moving truck that through context clues you can find out that the mother is going through a divorce and they're moving out of the house and going far away, and just the awkward conversations that you have with your parent when you don't fully comprehend what's going on, or
stuff really hasn't been talked about too much.
Yeah.
Between both of you.
And then during the ride, there's a bad thunderstorm and rainstorm that happens that kind of messes everything up.
And of course, the moving truck that they rented, the wipers don't work.
Nothing works on this moving truck. Well, okay, some things work on this moving truck, but it was really cool to talk to the director and animator on this to really understand the whole story behind it. The art style itself is very watercolor. I believe that the director is Chinese.
I believe so, because at least the language for it is Chinese and English. I don't know if it's Mandarin or Cantonese or something else.
Mm-hmm.
I am not up to speed on my different Chinese languages.
That's perfectly fine. We'll eventually need to learn it for, Chinese overlords at some point, or that is going to become... Well, I mean, Mandarin is, the number one language within business now, I think.
I think so.
Anyway. But the animation style within it was just absolutely beautiful. I couldn't stop praising her for everything that she was doing. It is just this beautiful watercolor backgrounds. Everything was hand-drawn. I think she said this took her, 2 years to do?
I don't remember the timeline. I do remember her saying that all of the scenes where it's, raining, that was all either the backgrounds were watercolor, and those were, gouache paintings, just to kind of represent, how it was hard for them to, see. There's all of this motion and blur going on, and
throughout the entire short, and throughout the entire short, to kind of go along with the narrative, there was no music, so you really felt that awkwardness between the mother and the daughter, and within the within the van itself that you didn't have either of them together on screen within focus. Both of them in focus at the same time until the end.
Yeah.
But whenever you would have both of them on screen, one would be out of focus, one would be in focus, and then once it would change perspectives, the other one would be in focus while the other was out of focus. You never saw them both on the same screen at the same time until the very end within that focus. And I thought that was a great narrative discussion to have with that, because it's awkward sometimes to have these types of conversations with your parents if you don't fully comprehend what's going on, or like you don't know the whole story behind it.
Yeah, and I do like how, after, they start driving, there's all of this rain, the mom's trying to be very stubborn of just driving through it at first, even though, the wipers don't work, the GPS is starting to go in and out, and eventually they do stop. The rain does pass, and, kind of those perfect emotional timing and timing with the weather of, the rain passes, they have a chance to kind of talk with each other a little bit of, this is kind of how I feel about this is how I feel about this, and getting that connection and resolution to coincide with the storm ends. Now both of them are in focus in the shot. And it wasn't until, we were chatting with, I believe, I'm sorry if I say the director's name wrong, Rui, that, I didn't even consider that there wasn't background music, because I was that absorbed in the art and in the story that once she mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, that, like, it suddenly clicked that was owing to so much of that atmosphere of the short.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. This was a lot of fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to talk with her about everything, and I seriously can't wait to see more work that she gets to do. I can't wait to see a lot of, I hope that these animators get more work out there. I think they all deserve it. This is all just beautiful stuff. And I hope that some of these names become household names.
Yeah.
So the second to last short that we watched was called A Night at the Rest Stop, which was a Japanese animation. This one was
adorable.
This one was really cute. It literally was just about a rest stop at night. At it was 1 o'clock in the morning, almost 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I think it was maybe midnight. Regardless, it was very late. They pull in from being on a bus to this rest stop. And I think one of my favorite things about this short in general was just all of the small little human interactions that they captured. None of the main characters of the short are technically humans. They're all
it's all cute little anthropomorphic animals.
But just the little nuances of, if you're sitting on a bench, someone sits next to you, I'm gonna scooch over, and someone, a third person wants to sit. Now both of the other people on the side scooch over, one person gets up to leave, everyone scooches again.
Or how you walk into a convenience store when there's nobody there and you want to just pay for your stuff, and you hit the little bell because, hey, ring me, and somebody will come, and you have nobody come for 5 to 10 minutes, and you're like, crap, I have to go.
Yes. And then
I need to get my stuff and go.
That was a turtle, I think.
Yeah. This one was definitely really cute. The animation style, you could definitely tell, was kind of hand-drawn. This reminded me a little bit of kind of Adventure Time a little bit, where it felt like
it was
a pencil drawing or something like that.
Yeah, and I guess to add to that, everything was pretty much grayscale. I think there was very limited colors besides some of the reds for vehicle lights and a couple other things, and like the lights associated with vending machines, because there's a fun vending machine scene.
Oh yeah, with like the vending machine playing like
the music,
the little music. Yeah, and how both you and I in the theater just started swaying back and forth without like prompting each other. That I was just like, yeah, this is my wife. I love her.
This is why we're married.
Darn it. And it's like do 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 do. Yes, I know. That's the Pokemon themes. That's the Pokemon Center like song. I couldn't think of something that would like
fit the kind of beat. Yeah. But yeah, and everything does look hand drawn. Like some of the tiles on the floor that they use for like paving stone definitely have like a pencil texture to them, and I really liked the animation style for this one too.
There's not a lot that we can talk about this one. Like, it really was just, it was cute. Yeah. It really was just kind of like cute.
A night at a rest stop, and someone snoring on the bus that you try to have to sneak around them, and then they don't wake up until.
Oh, I felt so bad for that dachshund.
I know.
He just wanted to get off and get some food, and then has to rush back because the turtle is slow. The like gopher wouldn't get out of his way. I wanted to give him all of the scritchies. And so now we'll get into the last one. And this one was definitely within my top 3 for this section. And this is the only one that made me cry.
Same.
This one was the piano. This is the one that Rob and I had like the least amount of information for. But we got damn near almost everything right. This is a story of a daughter and her father, and just the love of music. That the dad seems like he works as a nurse at a hospital and works late hours, and when he comes home, he likes to play the piano. So the daughter likes to sneak downstairs and listen to him play. And eventually, as the dad starts to play, the daughter sits on his lap and puts her hands on his to understand how it's playing. And the art style begins and ends as it looks like a Pixar movie. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know why, but when the animation first started, the first thing that popped into my mind was The Secret of Pimp.
Not for me.
Yeah, I think it was just like that.
Animation. For me, it reminded me of a hand-drawn Tangled or Princess and the Frog, like that style of art for Disney, or even if the original How to Train Your Dragon was more hand-drawn rather than 3D. That's what it reminded me of. But then in the middle section where you get to see the dad play the music and you literally see the daughter grow up, that it goes into this I think I said it was a cosmic...
Yeah, astral outline.
Yeah. It was this cosmic sketches of just her life and how music is important to her and how playing music is important to her. And you get to see everything go from her as a little kid to growing up and being in high school and being in college and getting and starting a family and getting married, and the dad dies. And at that point I started crying. Yeah. And I was just
we both were
damn
where's our soda?
Damn it! I require my lemonade and ginger ale. Why did I go Gunther on that? For anybody who listens to Stinky Dragon, I just sounded like Gunther.
But then it kind of ends with it going full circle of now, her...
I think it was her kid. I couldn't,
maybe son.
I couldn't tell if it was son or daughter, but her kid doing the same thing that she did with her dad she was like, all right, I'm going to start playing the piano. And the kid put their hands on top of her hands. And it was that full,
full circle.
Yeah. And music, and especially sharing it with a parent, has such a major part of my life, because I absolutely love the music that I love. I'm a rocker at heart. I love punk music. I love metal music. I damn near listen to everything except for like most country because that's just too twangy, and I'm sick and tired about hearing about pickup trucks and heartbreak. If I want to hear about heartbreak, I'll listen to punk music.
Or emo music.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a subgenre of punk. But, like, my dad and I share a very special relationship with music. He is one of the persons that has gotten me into a lot of this stuff, and he and I still share music from time to time. But seeing this story, that's like, it's very much to something that I can see happening in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
That music is definitely it is a big part of who I am. And seeing how much it can impact myself and how much it impacts like other people and how much of a story can be conveyed through music. It's absolutely beautiful. And the art with this was gorgeous. It tugged on your heartstrings. Like Rob and I said in the first episode, this one was definitely going to be one that was going to probably make us cry, and it made me cry.
It was successful.
Yeah, no, it 100%. What? Damn it! I almost got through an entire episode. Mother. Oh my God! I hate my life. I hate it here. Anyways, like this one was. It didn't beat out Ovary-Acting, and it didn't beat out Quinta's Ghost, but it was definitely within like some of my favorites within these 7. Just because it hit the story that I know. I don't play piano. I played trumpet, and I used to sing. My dad played trumpet, but never really got into it, and can hold a tune. But just that sharing of music, that love of music, is what is a part of my soul, and you could feel that throughout this entire short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if this name will mean anything to our listeners. I'm only familiar with them just from their music in some other like random TV shows, but the main composer for the piano was Sleeping at Last.
Yes. And like that, they made original music for this.
Mm-hmm.
And during the credits, like you see it's just video. It's like not animated at all. It's just, I guess IRL video of them playing at the piano and playing the music. And that, I thought that was really cool to just kind of like tie everything together. But that was all 14 shorts. And we got through this in under an hour and a half.
Yay!
But overall, Tribeca was a lot of fun. It was cool to talk to the animator for Lily and to the creator of Still Moving. There was a lot of fun things. I need to get some... Ooh, excuse me. Stupid beverage. I still need to get some pictures from you to kind of post onto to our social medias. But it was just a fun day, even though it was like a rainy day. It was a fun day to be in the city. It was a great time to see all of these shorts, and it was wonderful to share it with you. Like you got to see a little bit behind the screen of like how Rob and I do everything, even though you live with one of the co-hosts. You got your own little Tribeca experience, and I hope that next year. As much as I would love to go in with you, I get to go with my, podcasting buddy, and we get to do a guy's date. And yes, when I say date, I mean date. In the city to really get to see some of these beautiful shorts and see what gets brought up next year.
Yeah, just hearing, you guys talk about Tribeca last year and how much fun you had. I was really happy to, I'm kind of sad that Rob couldn't go, obviously, but happy that I had the opportunity to go with you because it was a ton of fun. Really excited to, see what shorts get picked for next year and to hear you guys, do all your predictions. I definitely am interested in that prediction episode to see, how on the money you might be for whatever they pick next year. And just like the wide breadth of all the different shorts between different animation styles, different types of stories, different creators from all over. Like, it's not just, hey, here's people from the US. There's shorts from all over the world, which is wonderful to see and be able to, get artists from all over.
Yeah. And much like last year with In the Shadow of the Cypress winning an Oscar, I wouldn't be surprised if any of these win any major awards during I was gonna say during award season. Like, I would not be surprised if any of these win an Oscar or something like that, because they are that good, they are that beautiful, they are that wonderful. And I hope that some of these artists and some of these animators become household names, that they become people that we get to know in the animation world, even if we're just consuming it like you and I and aren't a part of it within the industry. Well, hi, Meow. Sorry, our cat is
just decided to run into our living room in between the two of us.
Yeah, somebody has the zoomies. But I think that's it for this episode. Thank you all for listening to another wonderful episode of the ADHD podcast. I will let you sign off first.
Yeah. I've been Theresa.
And I have been Steve. I hope you guys enjoy yourself, enjoy your evening, enjoy your day. To go off of Hello Hyrule, happy zone, everybody. And, yeah. Bye-bye.
Intro and outro music brought to you by DJ Cutman. Find him on all available streaming platforms, and you can find him on Instagram and Twitter at VideoGameDJ. Thank you for tuning in to the ADHD podcast. We hope that you enjoyed our nonsense and whimsy. Please make sure to follow us on our social medias. Instagram at animateddysfunctionpod. Bluesky at adhdpodcast.bsky.social. X/Twitter at A_D_H_D_pod. Links in the show notes below. Make sure to check out our merch on TeePublic. Our store link is also in the show notes below. Thanks again for listening, and remember, keep this podcast weird.